Well, hello and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the concept of grossing up income. You see, I'm sure we've all been there. We've all been there and had the following. We've all been there looking at our bank balance, looking at the money coming in, cheering because we've been paid for some piece of work we've done or something we've sold or whatever the reason is. But then a little bit confused because the money we've received doesn't equal the money we've actually sold that service or item for. This concept is called grossing up because what's normally happened is the fact that when you've received that money, either the person or the platform that you've used to sell that product or the payment facility that you've used to be able to receive the income for that have charged some form of fee. And this happens all of the time. If you think about it, if you sell on eBay, then eBay will happily put that item for you on for sale. But most of the time, it depends if you've got a business or not, most of the time they won't charge you for anything until the product actually sells. And then they will take that fee directly from the money that they've received and they will give you the net difference. Now, as a business, it's really important we show the gross amount, the amount we've sold that item for in our income section in our accounts and bookkeeping. And the reason for that is for some things like VAT calculation, so if you're under that £85,000 threshold, it's super important that we make sure that we're accounting for the gross sales so we don't miss maybe getting to that £85,000 threshold or not. So we've got to be really careful about the way that we put our income into QuickBooks Online. And that's what we're going to go through today. It could be about eBay, PayPal, it could be about any form of actual receiving income from any platform and then taking a cut of that money before it reaches your bank account. If any of that occurs to you, then this video is an absolute must watch. So don't forget to like, subscribe, all of that jazz as more of this content is on your way. But for now, stay tuned and let's get right into it. Hello, my name is Patrick. I am a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer with a fancy new logo, that QuickBooks chap on the internet, and also head of accounts here at Boffix. Now, today we've got a very important video for you. Today is all about grossing up income, and it happens more often than not this day and age. We want to be making sure that you are accounting for it properly. Now, to make your life easier, I'm going to give you various options here of how to tackle it, from the dead straightforward to the more convenient. So let's dive straight in there. Let's waste no more time and let's have a look at how to deal with gross income within QuickBooks Online. Okay, so we've all been there. We've all been there into that point where you've received £950 into your bank account or however much you've received, but actually you've sold it for £1,100 and they've taken a substantial £150 charges directly from you. Now in this case, we're just going to say it's eBay income, but this could be any type of income whatsoever. Now, I've got multiple ways we can deal with this. The first one we're going to deal with is just by doing it on this particular transaction itself. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to select the transaction, but this time I'm going to use that split functionality that we have at the bottom. When we use a split functionality, I can say what we've received. So in this case, eBay. I can say what it relates to. I'm just going to go sales of product income. I can say what VAT it's on, and again, this is where it gets really, really important because if we get this bit wrong, we're going to underestimate our VAT. I'm going to say what customer it was from and the amount. Now notice at this point that actually we've got £950 coming through, 1,100 is our total, but we're only seeing £150 there, which is a problem, isn't it? That means we're trying to show, or we're not accounting for that charges. But don't worry, because we can put it directly here as well. So I can put eBay. From there, I can say my category is eBay fees or charges. I'm going to say my eBay is exempt for this particular purpose, but do make sure you get that right. And I'm going to say there was 150, but this time I'm going to minus it. What that's done is that's returned my split back to £950 and it's put £1,100 into my income and a charge of £150. And if I apply and accept this and I run a profit and loss for that exact day, then we can see exactly what happens. Now ignore the telephone in this one, but look at this. We've got sales of product income And look what we've got here, £916.67, which is the net amount, if I click into it, of the 1,100 that we sold. And then below that, I've got £150 of my eBay charges. And you can see here, my eBay charges are there. So again, if I ignore this telephone cost here, I'm now showing my correct net income with VAT being accounted for, but I'm actually splitting the income and the expenses correctly. And that's really important. And that's where we get to, and that's where we need to make sure we get this absolutely spot on, because this can be the difference between us actually accounting for the information correctly and the information incorrectly. Now that's a great way and a great attempt to do that, but we do have various other options, and sometimes these can be even more straightforward. So if I go back to my banking, and this time round I undo it, and I'm back to square one at this point. Now imagine that I've connected my eBay account to QuickBooks and I'm having that information coming in, or I'm going in each and every month or day and I'm recording these transactions manually. Either way, if I was already recording the information, I'd have to think about it in a different way. So let's look at my sales, and let's say it was 1,100. Again, let's just make it easier on myself, make it inclusive of VAT, 20%. Save and close. Alright, so at this point then, I already have accounted for that 1,100, but I still need to mark this item against it. So what do I do? Well, what I do is I go in and I press the Find Match option. QuickBooks won't automatically have found this for us, so we're going to have to use that Find Match option to find the actual transaction itself. Once I press Find Match, see, now that I've got my Find Match already in there, what I can do is I can tick against it, and when I tick against it, it'll only apply the 950 because that's all I've received. Not to worry though, I can put the 1,100 against it, and at this point then, I'm now saying that this transaction has now been paid off, which is exactly what I want to happen. From there, what I can do is I can use this Resolve Difference button just here. I can go in, I can say this is for eBay and eBay fees, and again, let's pretend that this is exempt. These days it's probably not, but I can do my minus £150 just here. And that means QuickBooks is going to allocate the full 1,100 against this transaction, which is definitely what I need it to happen. And then it's going to give me a 1,500, and then it's going to give me £150. And then it's going to give me a £150 charge just against this. Give me the chance to press save. £950 is going to be accounted for in my bank. And again, if I jump in my reports, profit and loss, put that same date range in. Press run report. You'll see I've got my £916, £150 charge with the same net income. Again, just ignore that telephone. And I've got the same result, even though I've done it a different way. And that way is a much more convenient way if you're going to be using importing tools or having one software talk to QuickBooks Online and bring that information in automatically. So there's two ways that we can do things on a much more manual basis, where we're going to individually use those individual transactions they come through. And if you've got 1 or 2 transactions a month or a week, then maybe that's going to be the best way of doing it for you. You wait for the transaction to quote unquote hit your bank account, which is what we tend to do in most transactions. Once it has hit your bank account, at that point we can either split the transaction if you haven't got it already in QuickBooks, or you're going to use the Find Match option to go in and then go in and use that Resolve Difference option to be able to go in and choose there. So there's 2 ways for you to deal with gross income. Now let's turn our attention to another common situation you have when it comes to gross income. And in this case, we're going to say that we've got ourselves a card machine. Now with this particular card machine, we get a payout each and every day And with this also, we're going to get charged at source. So every time we receive a payout, they would have already taken into account any fees they need to go for. And for some small businesses, that is an absolute lifesaver. If you're not going to use your card all the time, or if you just want convenience over making sure it gets paid, then sometimes this can be a really good way of making sure that you get that payment coming through. Now, with you having multiple of these payouts coming in on a regular basis, it probably isn't going to be worthwhile for you to actually go in and individually add those transactions, either with the split rule that we looked at previously or with the match and resolve difference. So in this case, I'm going to introduce a new concept called a control account. So on here, I've got all of my iZettle accounts coming in. So that's my card payment situation. I've got all these amounts, relatively little. So me going through each time will be quite frustrating. But what I know on this one, or in this particular case, is that every day I get a £2 charge. Now, if I go to my main dashboard, you'll notice I have my bank account, all looks good from there. And I also have an iZettle control account just here. And if I go into my iZettle control account, just for ease, I've already gone through and posted these transactions. So I've said I've received £50, £80, 60, 60, 80. And that's the amount of money that I'm expecting to receive is £330. And to achieve this, I've just done a sales receipt directly against iZettle control. Now again, you could have it so that this is systemized for you. You can have it so you can import and export from, in this case, an iPad, import directly into QuickBooks Online, or even get a third-party app that can bring this in. And you'll find that most of those third-party apps will also deal with the fees for you as well. But in this case, for whatever reason, the fee hasn't been accounted for. I now know I'm supposed to receive £330, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to have that shown in my bank account. So let's see what we deal with it. Well, I'm going to go to my banking. And I'm basically going to do the other entry of this. So I'm going to say that all of these transactions, all these iZettle ones, I'm going to go and transfer to my iZettle control account and apply and accept. I can even create a really fancy rule here so that every time that my iZettle account or the iZettle transactions appear in my bank, they will automatically go to the iZettle control. If I come back to my dashboard now, and go to iZettle control, you'll see that it's now updated to show what's actually happened. So you can see that my daily take-ins of £50, well, I received 48. My daily take-ins of 80, I received 78. And you can see that my balance now is £10 because that's the charges that I haven't yet posted in QuickBooks Online. Well, fear not, I can do that directly from here. So I press the add expense button. I'm going to go to the last day of this particular month and I'm going to go in and I'm going to say iZettle and I'm going to say it was £10. I'm going to say it was exempt, but again, do make sure that's the case. I even got an iZettle charges. And as soon as I press my save button, it's going to generate for me an expense account and it's going to put this back down to 0, which means when I go into my bank, my dashboard screen, get things done, I've got an iZettle account of now 0, which is a good thing. And that's why we like to use control accounts that show on this dashboard, because then you can always keep on top of it. And you can always make sure that that is 0 or the amount you're expecting to receive into your bank account. And then you know that it's done correctly. My banking page has now been fully reconciled, so I'm happy that that figure's been correct. And if I was going to go to my reports and I did a profit and loss, you can see I've got my income coming through and my expenses are shown there as £10, meaning that I'm showing my correct gross sales, which is the whole point of this exercise, and then I'm showing my expenses below. So the control account is a great concept when you've got lots and lots of transactions. Not only can you do things much quicker, but also it gives you that sense of control as well, hence the phrase control account. Because if it's in on your dashboard and it's sat there as a cash account, which is what we treat it as, then you can, as soon as you log into QuickBooks, you can see the balance and you can take ownership of that balance at that point. The final way to achieve this is by using third-party software, using an app like the OneSAS connector, like Link My Books, or like Cinder. All three of those are on my link tree, which is linked down below, and you can find ways to connect that way if needed. But it doesn't matter which one of those options we've gone through, the important bit is that you're showing your gross income at the top there as the full amount of income, and then you're showing your expense below. And that's it. That's how to gross up income like an absolute pro. Well, how would you do it? Let me know in the comments below. Is there another way that you use to go and gross up your income? Is there any other option where grossing up income has become really, really important and you're having to find ways to keep on top of it? Or are there any apps out there that you would recommend to others? Let us know below, put the comments in. I read every single comment, and you never know, you might be featured in a future video. My name's been Aaron Patrick. It's been an absolute pleasure to do this video for you. Make sure to like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Let's get this video to as many eyeballs as we can. Again, my name's been Aaron Patrick. This video has been a pleasure, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it's dark, when it's dark. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want, if you want. I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter if you want. I know that it's real, cause I can get him out of my head. I don't care what we do, everything's feeling new. Even if we stay in bed, my heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. You know I want him, nah, 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 nah. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah.
Hello and thank you for watching that video. What you may not know is this channel that you've watched this video from is part of a wider group. That wider group is called Apple Core Production, and the 3 channels that we have involved are as follows: Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks Chat, Boffix Tax Tip. Finally, we have Apple Core Live and Geeky. All the links and everything are down below in the description, but it really means a lot to us if you can go and give a like to the other channels as well.